Hello, fellow collectors. Frank here, back with another TTM Success video. TTM standing for Through the Mail Success Autographs. Got 4 in the box so far this week. Thought I'll get one more in here before Christmas. Today is December 23rd if you're watching this later. Let's get right at it. First in the box we have here is a 2-for-1 in 18 days out of, and I think that's out of Illinois. I sent it to Springfield, Illinois. Can't really make out that, but here we have dun dun dun, we have Mr. Dick Schofield. Looking nice here on this 1954 Topps reprint in blue ink. Quite sweet there. And on the index card, and he answered a few questions for me, which I will get to in just a moment. So we have here Mr. John Richard Schofield, Dick, or better known as Ducky Schofield. Mr. Ducky Schofield was born January 7th, 1935 in Springfield, Illinois. He's 85 years young. Ducky was a slick field and switch-hitting shortstop. Used mostly as a utility infielder throughout his career, he played 19 seasons in the majors from 1953 to 1971 with seven different teams. Played the bulk of his career with the St. Louis Cardinals and Pittsburgh Pirates, and he also played with the New York Yankees, LA Dodgers, Boston Red Sox, and Milwaukee Brewers. Ducky inherited his nickname from his father, who played 10 minor league seasons, also for 7 different teams. By the time young Ducky was going to Springfield High School, he was the best player in the region, and was even approached by 2 Dodgers scouts in his freshman year. After graduating high school, he had the choice of going to Northwestern University on a basketball scholarship or signing with 14 of 16 major league teams with a big signing bonus. As a lifelong Red Sox fan, Schofield preferred to sign Boston, but the club had just signed some other expensive players, including shortstop Don Budden. Ducky ended up signing with the St. Louis Cardinals with a $40,000 signing bonus. He made his major league debut just weeks after signing on July 3rd, 1953, versus the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley Field. Pinch running for catcher Del Rice in the 7th inning of a 10-3 loss. Schofield was traded to the Cardinals to the Pirates during the 1958 season. During his tenure with the Pirates, he was the backup for 1960 MVP and batting champ shortstop Dick Grout, but he was also a key member of that 1960 World Series champion Pittsburgh Pirates, enjoying the greatest month of his career in September 1960. Filling for Grout after the team captain went down with a broken wrist, Ducky hit .403 down the stretch to help the team win the NL pennant. He also went 1 for 3 in the World Series after Grout returned. In 1962, after 10 seasons, he got his chance to start and was the Pirates' starting shortstop from 62 to 64 before being traded to the San Francisco Giants during the 65 campaign. After stints with the Yankees, Dodgers, and Cardinals again, he finally got his chance to play with his favorite boyhood team. In 1969, my hometown team, the Boston Red Sox, and he apparently never felt more comfortable in the utility role, playing for manager Dick Williams, mostly at second base, but also filling at shortstop, third base, and even left and right. Schofield responded by hitting .333, 11 for 33 in a pinch hitting role that 69 seasons. Average was the 3rd best in the AL among players with at least 30 pinch hit at bats. Ducky was a career .227 hitter with 21 home runs, 211 RBIs, and 3,083 at bats. He's the father of another former MLB shortstop, Dick Schofield, who was not a junior actually because his first name is Richard, and former MLB outfielder Jason Worth. And he has a few questions for me here, which is always terrific. Mr. Schofield, who was your favorite teammate? Harvey Heddix. So Harvey Heddix was a great pitcher, left-handed southpaw. He played with St. Louis and Pittsburgh with them. Who was the toughest pitcher you had success against? The great Don Drysdale. Versus the Hall of Fame pitcher, he had career at .351 with 4 doubles, 1 triple, 3 RBIs, and 57 at-bats. And do you have any hobbies? If so, what do you like to do? He likes to golf. All right. Thank you, Mr. Schofield. Very nice there. Next in the box here, I have 1 for 1 in 9 days out of Fort Myers, California. We have Mr. Ike Dull. Ivan Martin Dull, better known as Ike. Mr. Ike Dull was born on November 11, 1929 in Highland Park, Michigan. 91 years young. He was a gritty right-handed pitcher that played 11 seasons in the majors, mostly with the hometown team, my hometown team, the Boston Red Sox. And he had a brief stint with the Orioles at the end of his career in '63. Mr. Dull in high school, playing for Highland Park High School, Dull was a star athlete who played baseball as a third baseman, basketball as a guard, and football as a fullback. After high school, he joined the U.S. Marines, serving from 1946 to 1948. Thank you for your service, Mr. Dull. While at Great Lakes in Illinois and Camp Lejeune in North Carolina, he played for the camp baseball team, at which he learned to pitch. To that point, he was mostly a third baseman, mainly because there was no other pitchers. His pitching prowess was established early on the camp team, as he struck out 21 batters in his first start. Mr. Dull was signed by the Red Sox after his departure for the service in 1948. He drew the attention of Red Sox scout Maurice Duluth, who had come to the Dull household to sign as Ike's older brother Joe. Ike, who had been scouted by the New York Yankees, was asked by Duluth how much the Yankees were offering him to sign. Ike told him Duluth offered him more, and both Ike and Joe signed with the Red Sox without the scout even having seen Ike play on the baseball diamond. His brother Joe played in the Red Sox and Chicago White Sox farm system from 1948 to 1951. While Ike moved through the Red Sox farm system as a promising pitching prospect, winning 20 and losing 4 with a 1.92 ERA with Class A Scranton in 51. This earned him promotion to Double-A Birmingham Barons at the tail end of the season. Projected as a starting pitcher and a relief pitcher, he made his major league debut on April 17, 1952, with the Red Sox, pitching the bottom of the ninth for the Washington Senators at Griffith Stadium in our nation's capital. He allowed 2 hits and no runs to finish a 9-2 Red Sox winner, earning his first major league save. Ike was used both as a reliever and starter throughout his major league career. In 1956, he led the AL in relief wins with 11 and was tied with 4th in saves with 9. His best season was perhaps the 1958 and 1959 seasons. At the end of the 1957 season, he had 3 straight wins in relief, and during the 1958 campaign, he ran off 13 consecutive game win streak, starting off 10-0 before being defeated by the White Sox on July 26, 1958. 1959 was perhaps the best of all his season. Pitching in 20 games with 17 starts, he had 11 wins and 6 losses, with a 2.95 ERA. Unfortunately, his career was derailed in 1962 with a knee injury. For his career, he was a career 84 and 75 with a 4.03 ERA. Very nice. Thank you so much, Mr. Dull. Quite awesome. So we'll just put you right over here, bud. Next in the box, we got a 1 for 1 in 10 days with a $10 fee out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. We have Mr. Bobby Morgan. Looking quite nice here in his 1952 Topps reprint. We have Robert Morris Morgan. Bobby was born on June 29, 1926 in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. He is 94 years young. He was an infielder who played in the majors for 9 seasons, 1950 to 1958, with the Brooklyn Dodgers, Philadelphia Phillies, St. Louis Cardinals, Chicago Cubs. He began his pro career in 1944, playing for the 2 minor league teams before he was drafted for World War II and spent the 45-46 seasons in the U.S. Army, where he served in the European Theater of Operations. So, once again, thank you very much for your service, Mr. Morgan. In 1948, he was named the MVP and All-Star shortstop for the Brooklyn Dodgers AAA Montreal Royals of the International League, winning the batting crown, hitting .337, and drove in 112 runs. He made his major league debut on opening day, April 18, 1950, as starting third baseman for the Dodgers versus the Philadelphia Phillies. In Philadelphia, he had 1 hit and 4 at-bats, hitting 7th behind first baseman Gil Hodges. Mr. Morgan grounded a single to left in the 5th in a 9-1 loss to the Phillies. Morgan's day with the Dodgers were spent mostly as an utility infielder. He played with the Dodgers World Series teams at 52-53. He preserved Carl Erskines' no-hitter against the Chicago Cubs in the 52 season with the 2 brilliant fielding plays at third base. In a recent interview published in the Oklahoman in April, this past April, he's reminisced saying, "I made 2 super plays on swinging bunts where they just dribbled down the line or fielded one-handed and threw to Gil Hodges at first. To this day, Carl Erskine thanks Morgan for saving the no-hitter whenever they talk." He was traded to Phillies in March 1954. Morgan enjoyed his best big league season that year, setting personal bests in hits, 119 doubles, 25 home runs, 14 RBIs, 50, and batting average .262 as the Phillies starting shortstop. Quite nice. Thank you so much, Mr. Morgan. Mr. Morgan answered a few questions for me. Always grateful for that. Who was your favorite teammate? Hall of Famer Pee Wee Reese. What was your favorite baseball memory? Playing in the major leagues. Where did you serve in the U.S. Army? What was your job? Served in Germany, 1949. Guardian POWs. Once again, thank you for your service, Mr. Morgan and Mr. D-Lock. Next, we have a 3 for 3 in 13 days out of Santa Ana, California. We have Mr. Dennis Lamb, looking nice in his 1989 Flair. And for the set on the 1981 Tops and 1990 Tops. Nice hair, Mr. Lamb. Mr. Dennis Patrick Lamb, born September 23rd, 1952 in Los Angeles, California, 68 years young. He was a right-handed starting relief pitcher that played 16 seasons, 77 and 92 in the majors with the Chicago Cubs, Chicago White Sox, Toronto Blue Jays, Oakland A's, Boston Red Sox, and Pittsburgh Pirates. He was selected in the 3rd round, 62nd overall in the 1971 MLB draft out of St. John Bosco High School in Bellflower, California. He made his major league debut with the Cubs versus the Los Angeles Dodgers on August 21st, 1977. As a starter at Wrigley Field, he pitched 5 2/3, allowed 9 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks, striking out 2, and picking up the loss. He earned his first major league victory on April 21st, 1978, shutting out the New York Mets 5-zip at Wrigley Field in a complete game shutout, allowing just 4 hits, 3 walks, and 1 strikeout. Between 1978 and 1980, he was primarily used as a starter. He was traded to the other side to town in Chicago to the White Sox in March 1981. In 3 seasons with the White Sox, he was used as a starter reliever. He left as a free agent with the Blue Jays in 1984 and spent the rest of his career as a reliever. In 1985 with the Blue Jays, Lamp came up just 1 win short of Luis Arrojo's 1961 record for most consecutive wins as a reliever. 1985 was perhaps his best season when he went 11-0 with a 3.32 ERA and 105 innings. He signed a 1-year contract with the A's in 87, then signed with my hometown team, the Boston Red Sox, in 1988, and pitched for the team from 88 to 91. He had quite a fine year in 1989, posting a 2.32 ERA, 112 1/3 inning pitch, and 42 relief appearances. He continued to pitch while approaching his 40th birthday, coming out of the bullpen in 21 games for the Pirates in 1992, but was released in June. So an interesting thing about Mr. Lamp, he was involved in 2 individual career milestones of a pair of future Baseball Hall of Famers. On August 13th, 1978, he gave up the late great Lou Brock's 3,000th hit. He also surrendered Cal Ripken Jr.'s first major league hit, a 3rd inning infield single in the White Sox 8-7 victory over the Baltimore Orioles at Memorial Stadium on August 16th, 1981. Mr. Lamp had a career-even 96 wins and 96 losses with a 3.93 ERA and 1,830 innings and 2/3 innings pitch. Looking quite nice here. Mr. Lamp, quite a nice collection here. I had to get out here before a holiday. Thought it's nice to see. Thank you very much for Mr. D-Lock, Mr. Bobby Morgan, Mr. Ducky Schofield, and Mr. Dennis Lamp. So I've said it before in my previous videos. I hope everybody has a great holiday season. Merry Christmas, etc. Happy New Year's. Take care. God bless. Peace.